We it was in April 2021. Well, it was a week before I gotten sick. Me and my fiance were planning to go out. Actually, they were going to go to the Riverwalk over here in San Marcos, and so we were planning it and everything. So it was going good. We planned it out for a whole week. It was going to be a good, good time. We just wanted to just get away. So I went home that day, and at that time I was living with my mom, my sister, and her kids, and my daughter. So I went home that day. My mom was all like, "Well, we came down with COVID." So I was like, "Oh, wow." So she goes, "Well, you might have to you might have to, like." I was like, "Okay, cool, that's fine." I have my own room. My daughter had her own room too. So we stood away from them. We just got a mask on, went to go eat. Go to the kitchen, get us something to eat. So everything was fine. So I guess I must have gotten it, and they were getting better. I was getting sicker. They're like, "Well, go ahead and try this out. Helps with your, with the fevers." So it started coming down with fevers. It started, and I started getting coughing and more coughing. By maybe the fourth day, I couldn't breathe. My sister comes knocking the door. She goes. She goes, "Well, I'm making something to eat if you wanna, if you want some tacos in the morning." So I said, "Okay, hold on." Open the door. She goes, "Man, your lips are turning, blue." And I was like, I didn't notice 'cause I don't look at myself in the mirror. I'm not a very vague person. So I was like, okay, so yeah, I was like, okay, I was feeling weak as it is. I couldn't breathe. I was coughing. I was like, and then mixture, just like, I was like, just like couldn't breathe at all. I'm coughing. I was okay. Well, my sister was like, "I'm gonna call the ambulance. Come out here to the front door and sit here." And luckily, I just put on my shoes. I was really hurting because normally I have um, lower pain problems in my back, and not could it was the pain was it was intense. It was really intense where I couldn't even get up, and I was like, okay, something's wrong. So I thought, okay, I got my shoes on and everything else. Um, it was a long hallway, but luckily my mom had a wardrobe in the middle of the hallway, so I can grab to because I was going. I wanted to faint. I had no breath in me. So then I held on to that, and there was another wardrobe, and I held on to that, and I sat in a chair. So my sister gave me her phone. I didn't want to touch it. So the ambulance people were talking to me, and they're like, "Okay, what's your name?" and so on and so on. So we got medics coming. So I said, "Oh, okay, cool, okay." I couldn't breathe at the same time. I was about to pass out. The ambulance came. We let the front door open. Funny thing was there was this tall black male, and there was this Hispanic or white female. She was like maybe 5'2", like because I'm 5'5", and then I was a big boy. I lost a lot of weight. Being in the hospital, and she was like, "Don't worry, I'll catch you, big fella." And I get a lot of big people like you, and I was like, okay, kind of like laughed it out. She was like, "Okay, get up," and I fainted, and she caught me. I was like, "Whoa!" Like, damn. I was like, she's one of those little petite white girls, like Hispanic. So I was like, okay. So they laid me down. They're wheeling me out. All I could remember was just like the sky, and they're trying to put oxygen on my face. I was laying there, and they first put like a long tube right here so I could breathe in. That wasn't working. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I was just like, like calm down. So I remember they put a bag. They were trying to help me breathe. All of a sudden, just blanked out. I don't know what happened. I was in this tunnel. It was black. It was just like a whirlwind, and it was dark. People were just like, "Help me!" "I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did this, God. Forgive me." They were just screaming to God to forgive them. I mean, I could see these people's sins. I could see these people's life. They were in pain. It was just pure darkness. You could see their lives just like what they did. Young people were there. Older people were there. Some were saying, "Well, I did this. Why am I being punished?" And I remember just going, just like a whirlwind. I hit the hospital floor. I hit the hospital floor, and I remember it was a padded room. In this padded room, It was hospital floor. There was a cross on the window near the window. There was machines going off and on. And I was sitting there. I was laying there. Well, I was sitting on the floor, and my arms were over my head. So now I remember a voice saying, you're here with us. You're not going back. No one loves you. You're pathetic. How dare you? Just like, the words were just so deep. They just wanted to kill you, basically. The voice was just like four sentences. Like when they talk, it was four. It was like echoing, and they were just being just like, no one loves you. No one cares about you. You're not going nowhere. Just repeating those words. So then, and I noticed when you passed on, you forget about your life you had. You forget about your loved ones, everything. When you're there, it feels like that's your new life. You're there. That's it. You're gone. I remember, I didn't have to turn my head. It was basically just like a panoramic vision where you could just see from the back to your sides. I remember there was this black male nurse that was talking to me, and they're like, "Well, you see this cord right here? It's gonna help you out. We're gonna connect you to the wall." And at first I was like, "Okay, how am I on the floor and I can see my body?" And I couldn't talk, and they're like, "Well, that's an issue right there." And on the right side, I could see the doctors, checking out my personal information, my laptop. They were laughing at it. They were like, "This guy's pathetic. Look at him. Look at these pictures of him and his fiance." I was like, he's just pathetic, just laughing. There was this card holder next to me. Where a card holder was like postcards holder. Where people send you postcards and everything across the country and everything across the world. I remember there was this gold phone that was hanging from it. There was this female nurse right behind me, and I was trying to grab it, but I couldn't. I was trying to grab it. She was like, "No, you can't. You can't answer that phone." But in reality, it was my fiance calling me, because when you're there, days pass. I was on the ventilator for a month. I remember just laying there. And she was like, "No, you can't. You cannot use that. I'm sorry." And I know probably my fiance was calling me. I could have felt it. I could feel her pain, her tears. So then there was another voice that said, "Come here, turn over here. Do you see all these, do you see this worker, this cleaner? Now, let me explain to you about this person that is here at the hospital. He's here, but he died here. This guy, he was a pedophile and he died. You can never trust a person." Like they was telling me, telepathic. So then he goes, I think it was God, because I just felt that, a loving voice. And he goes, "You see this other nurse over here? These two nurses that were walking, with clipboards. They're like, well, they died here in this hospital as well. And that's the reason why they're here. Don't ever trust these people when you see them again in your lifetime." Then so from there, I'm just laying there still. I could see the board with my name on the wall. I could see the walker. I could see, the nurses station where they're seeing through the window. I could hear the ventilators going off. As far as taking my breath away, just going back to this, that's fear. When you go see a movie, a scary movie, that's not fear. When you're on the other side, that's fear. That's like 10 times worse fear, because you don't know what's going to be thrown at you at any minute. So it goes to one scenario where I'm in this. It transforms from the hospital room to a dance hall. In this dance hall, I'm laying on the floor. Everything doesn't work. There's cords all over my face. The room feels like it's getting longer, and I can still see the nurse from across the window. Actually, that nurse was there the whole time when I woke up too. So I could see myself laying there. This nurse comes in with glasses, curly hair. She goes, "Oh my God." The love she radiated off of her, it was so amazing. She was like, "Welcome. Oh my God, you made it." you're so big here. You're so famous here. We all know you made it here. I mean, the love is just like, can't you feel the love, basically? I mean, and to me, I was like, what's going on? Like, I mean, it's just in shock. It's the shock of, I mean, you're thrown into this reality where, this is all you know, and this is all you are now. I wasn't thinking about home. I wasn't thinking, oh my God, am I gonna go back to my YouTube channel? Because my YouTube channel was, sorry, it was, I was interviewing paranormal investigators as my channel and everything, and my channel name. I don't do it anymore because of what I experienced. So, I was laying there, and she was checking my vitals and everything. She goes, "Well, I'll tell you what, you can't move yet." I was okay. She goes, "Hold on." She goes, "I'm gonna show you another person that works here that does not work here anymore." So she shows me outside. This lady she got fired for having intercourse on the job. I hate to say that. And you can see them making out in the car, knowing that you're in the hospital room. You can see them. So then all of a sudden, like, I can see my daughter. She's outside the hospital room, just peeking in the whole time. I don't know why. I mean, that's just how it was shown to me. I remember my leg falling off the bed, and I remember hearing my mom say, "Why is his leg hanging off the bed for?" Right? And they're like, "Well, ma'am, we'll fix it right away." My mom was getting kind of angry at that, seeing her and everything else. She was in the hospital room, but I could feel her presence there. I could feel like, you know, she was seeing me for somehow. I don't know if she was there. So I remember I threw my brake because I had foot drop. Since 2012, I got in a car accident in Australia, and so I had threw him up at this in this stage. They had like chairs and everything else there. I threw it up. So I was there, and I was just laying there, and I was like, okay, cool. I was still there. So it transformed. I hear a voice go, "Come here." And so I'm in this cave, Native American cave, and this Native American, he was all entire. He was just sitting there. When God, Jesus, he glides you to it. You don't even know where you're going. I always say when you die, it's because I died twice. I died twice, and they revived me twice, and I was put on the ventilator. So I was there. I was sitting there, and I remember the Native American. He was telling me telepathy in a way, not in words, but like feeling. I was sitting there, looking at a blank cave wall, and this blank cave wall it crumbled. When it crumbled, you could feel all the pieces going in your face, like when it was crumbling. And I seen forest, I seen waters. It was so beautiful. It sung at you. I mean, it was beautiful. It was the most beautiful waters you could ever see. The forest was just calling your name out. It was so wonderful. You could feel that love. He was telling me what love really was. I mean, why I was here, what I was missing out on. So then all of a sudden falls back onto this rock. It was kind of like slanted. It starts getting cold. I didn't want to leave. I knew that if I was gonna leave, I was gonna go to another experience. This female with black hair, she comes in. She goes, "You need to eat something." And I was just like, huh? Like, I mean, I can't. I'm on a ventilator. I can't. How did I know this? I didn't know this, but I was like, I can't eat nothing. She goes, "Yes, you can. You have to." And then God goes, "Come here." He takes my soul. And when he takes my soul, I'm hanging on these pipes. With these pipes, you can feel go around your wrist, and I'm hanging like this, and these things were spraying at me. It was hot water. They were laughing at me. They're like, "Huh, who do you think you are?" And they're like, "You're useless to us. Who do you think you are?" we are who we are, and we are why we're here. I look to my right, and I see this clock. It's metal, and the metal's the time stopped. The time I stopped is when I went to hospital. That's when I died. There's no time. There's no space there. It's just when you're there, you're there. You're there for good. I was at 10% of life on my ventilator. 10%. I remember it going to this bunker, and in this bunker, there's four Nazi people that were working on these old time computers. They had like green dots, red lights on there. They were all dressed up. You could see all their entire like what they were wearing. And there was this female and this little kid that was on this pedestal, the stool that was in front of them. They looked at me. They're like, "What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here." So then, God just like, oh, Jesus, he wishes me away. He goes, "Come here, show me something else." He sends me through another tunnel. It's kind of like dirt tunnel. It's like, whew, just real quick. I'm just sitting there, basically just looking. This is female, male, and this kid. They were putting dirt in these sacks under a bridge. They told me, they said, "You're not supposed to be here." I was like, "Why? What is the meaning of this?" I mean, they didn't say it in words, but they were sort of like saying, "Well, in life, we died. We were here. We stole from the rich. We built bridges for the poor, and that's why we are here." So that right there, I was just like, "What?" They're like, you need to go back. You need to finish this." So here I go up that hole, and I was just like, "Okay, you can smell the dirt and everything." Landed on this chair. It was peaceful actually, and I was in the hospital room, and I was just like, "Okay, I'm here. All right." So there's overcoming love. He was like, "Don't move. It's fine." This motherly love was just, it's more love than your female companion or your mother. It was more like love. It was pure love. It was like, "It's okay. Don't move. You can't. You're like, it's fine. Don't look over there. Just look straight ahead. You can see the cross on the wall. It's gold." He was with me the whole time. I was looking, and he goes, "Okay." He goes, "Hold on 1 second." He goes, "Come here." Boom. I'm sitting in this chair. There's this female. Female comes in a minute later. Before then, I could see I was in this apartment or this house. I call this vision M&Ms, because there's big old jar of M&Ms on this counter, and you can see the stove. You can see the smell of cinnamon in the air. You can see it upstairs. There's some kind of drama happening on this TV. The cops come in on the TV set. They're like, something's happening. There's this cop coming in. I feel like she was the nurse, but she wasn't. This cop comes in front of me crying. And she goes, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Why are you here? It's your fault why she's gone. Why are you here?" So I was wished away. And I was sitting in some place or whatever where they were taking care of me, and there was this caretaker. She was there. She was actually a big heavyset woman. She came up to me. She goes, "What are you doing here on my floor? Come here!" Just like that. And all of a sudden, whoom, again, I wish me God just like, "Come here." And I was sitting in this hospital room, and they're like, "Huh, okay." They're like, these two nurses came in, and she goes, "Hey," she goes, "We found a problem, Mr. Alonzo. We found a problem that, why you're here." And they showed me a brain scan. They told me, and then they showed me a white cloud. They're like, "Okay, this is how you died." They showed me a fake death. This fake death, I come out of the grocery store. I got hit by a car. I felt it. Like, that was my death, and that was not my death. I knew that wasn't my death, but it felt like it was real. They're like, we'll fix you up in no time. Don't worry. And so I was looking up, and there was this like circle. It was like going in like a nine, like kind of like, it was like a circle going in and in, and you could see these like people that were in there. And then again, come here. It was like a little small voice, come here. And then I was in this courtroom. I was looking up. It felt like it was a courtroom. It was marble everywhere. And I thought, okay, what's this? It was dark. There was this black shadow on the second 2-story floor, and it was telling me it was nothing good out of it. It was this evil, trickster presence. It said, hey, if you kill someone for us here, we'll let you go back. I looked outside. There was cops everywhere. They were like, it's okay. If you do this, we got you, man. We'll come and get you. And I was like, what? Like, I mean, the only thing I could think of was just like, it was this trippy experience, and all of a sudden they bust in. They're like, you pathetic piece of shit. Sorry, excuse my language. Sorry. I don't know if you want me to cuss on there, it's fine. But, you pathetic. They're like, you think we're going to let you go anywhere? How dare you? But they're talking to me like, in telepathy way. It was not like how we're talking right now. So then, again, come here. I'm in this trash can. I'm tied down, but in reality, they have you tied down on a ventilator, because if you're not, you'll take out everything if you wake up. So that's in reality. But I didn't know that. I did not know that. But in my mind, I knew if why I was tied down. I couldn't get up. People just sitting there. I was in this. It was sort of like a train system, sort of like. They're sitting there eating. They're like, really? This guy's here? Come on, kill him already. He's not supposed to be alive. Come on now. Again, come here. I'm in this place. I feel like I was in my brother's place. I was in my brother's friend's place. They were having a barbecue. They're having like kind of like chicken and like fajitas. It would smell good. You could smell the food. You could see the sofas. You could see the pictures of the families. What's kind of crazy is I never went to my friend's family's house. Never in my life. So I'm there. I can't walk. I mean, I'm just gliding. I'm looking. I'm being pushed to it. All of a sudden, this black mass brings out, my stretcher. When he opens it up, I'm laying there, and I have my tray that's open right here, from so they could feed me through the tube and everything. So this thing, he points down, skeleton fingers. He goes, "Do you want to know more?" And again, God goes, he swishes me away. Come here. I end up in the hospital room again. I hear the ventilator machines. I'm just like, I'm looking. I see these boxes with me and my daughter's name on it, and there's this, was like one of these little, what do you call those? It's sort of like it's something where you put like all your information in and stuff like that. So I'm there and everything else. So I'm like looking around. There's this female nurse. He goes, "Are you okay there?" He looks down at me like that. I'm like, "Can't you see what's going on?" Like, I was floating on top of my body. I was like, "Can't you see what's going on?" It was out. Like, my ventilator was out. But I was breathing. I could breathe through my hole. "Can't you see what's going on?" And he goes over there. He walks out. He goes, "Well, let me know if you need anything, sir." He was flirt with this other nurse or whatever. And I could see them. I could see him actually, going in there flirting with this other nurse. I could hear my mom. Is he gonna wake up yet? Is he gonna wake up yet? And I could feel her sadness. And in this window, I could see my brother's kids. They're playing on a game, but on this game, it was the ventilator. I didn't know what it was first until I researched it when I woke up and everything. So I was still laying there. I could see the window. I could see, looked like Austin, Texas. In reality, they were gonna fly me out to Austin, but I stayed in Kyle, Texas, because I wouldn't have survived the flight if I was gonna go. In reality too, with the ventilator, it's called a trait, what they put on you as well. Um, my mom was fighting over with the doctors to tell them to put a trait in me because they kind of like fought with them because they wanted to disconnect me because I was at 10%. I was on the ventilator for a month, mind you. So it took me to a place where my mom was talking to my mom, my sister, my brother. They're outside the hospital bay talking to the two female nurses that were, well, two female doctors. I'm sorry. They were talking to them. They were like, well, we don't think he's gonna make it, so we're not gonna do the trade. My mom was like, well, God is good. He's gonna make it. Do not disconnect him. Do not. So they were fighting with them. So like, okay, we're gonna try it. And all through this whole process, I just wanted water. I mean, I was scared. I was just a regular Joe. I believed in God all my life and everything. I mean, like, why was this happening to me? That was my new reality. I was like, wait a minute, like, where am I at? Why is this happening to me? I was telling him that. I was just shocked. I was like, why am I seeing my family fighting for me? There was this black nurse hiding in the near the hospital bay, like where the ambulances are. This voice was telling me, "Don't trust her. Later in life, you're gonna see her. I'll tell you why." So I was laying there, and my back was over a trash can. That's how much of my life was worth at that time. Trash. I was starting to glide through the water, and I felt a big old hand like wish me up, just like that. I was laying there. I mean, to be honest, I didn't know what was going on. I mean, everything was just, I mean, everything that your body, everything that you are, you're exposed. Like, God just knows you. He knows you. He knows you. You can't hide nothing from him. You're laying there, and that female nurse that was there, I told you about, that was next to the ambulances. She goes, okay. She goes, I know how to fix you. We're going to put these liquids down your body. And I could feel the calculations. It was a calculation feel, like a sound. And my mom was all like, okay, why don't we just do this? She looked at me. She goes, Mijo, everything's going to be okay. We're going to do this. We're going to do the experiment. And you'll be okay. So I could feel it. I was looking at the ceiling. And I was crying. I was just like, I'm done with this. I mean, God, you have to take me home. I don't want to do this. I feel like I was in purgatory. I didn't even know what that was until, later in life. So everything was done and over with. They had put me on the shelf. I was made into some kind of doll. See the fan next to me. I could feel the presence of God next to me. He was showing me. He goes, you see these people around you? Some of my family members are there. My mom was like, it's okay, you'll be fine. And I was thinking, I feel like I was a doll. I feel like I was a porcelain doll. Like, in reality, God was saying, if you don't stand up to your mom and all your family, they're going to treat you like you're dirt. Where if they need you, they'll take you off the shelf. If they don't need you, they'll put you away. And that's it. And I could see everybody having fun at my own expense. They were all getting together and everything, and I was just like, what's going on? Like, I was frightened. I mean, I was actually a bear, a doll, like on the shelf, and I felt like I was exposed. And I was, what's going on? Like, all I could do was I was begging God for a glass of water I was thirsty. Why wasn't he listening to me? I know he was there, and he didn't come here again. I was laying back. The hospital room was dark. You could see the shadows in the window. You could see the windows. You could see the doctors going back and forth. That black female nurse came up to me, and she goes, okay, you're good. She goes, oh my God, just the feeling. Kind of frightens me a little bit because it's the feeling of being there again. It's crazy. She goes, hey. She goes like that. She goes, hey. She goes, you're fine. Don't worry. She went like that to me. She goes, hold on. She goes, I gotta tell you some other stuff. I feel like it was a cloud. this guy who was in the gas station was a trucker. He had long beard. It was not me. It was long beard and everything. He had walked into a gas station. It was a filthy gas station. And there was this thing that was telling him to do something bad. He goes, "Well, if you go kill this person, then we'll let you out." And I'm there in the bed listening to all this, like I was that person in life. So the guy goes, "Come here." Boom, wishes me. Wish is like it's fast. I'm there, and there's this woman checking these cameras out. There's a security guard, and the security guard there was four screens, and on these four screens she's looking at this forest. It was her job, and God or Jesus was telling me, tell this woman in life, when you wake up, not to go to those cameras, because if not, she's gonna get hurt. Well, actually, I did actually. One of my friends, one of my best friends, I told him, I said, he was at work and everything, and this is when I woke up and I was okay and everything. I did warn him because he was talking to his wife, and his wife said that the cameras had messed up, and in my visions they were messing up, and I said, don't go out there, she's gonna get hurt. So then, I kind of saved her life, because one of the security guards that were there went out there instead, and he could handle that. He almost got hurt. He almost got shot. So in my vision, she got shot, and I let him know about the double doors and everything. They were metal. He goes, "How did you know that?" I was like, "Yeah, well, I had that vision that was there like that." In these visions, I just wanted to go home. I was done. Show me my mercy. Show me what I did wrong. That's how I was feeling. Again, come here. I'm laying on the floor. People were putting stuff over my head, just papers. I was crying. I wanted a glass of water. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, God. What did I do to deserve this? What did I do? My heart was just. Honestly, I can't even cry anymore because of that. You cry so much. You cry so much that he took away that pain now. Even now it's just like yeah, I can't. Yeah, sorry, it's my dog. So it's my little puppy's pug. I have 2 months old. So, God bless me. So yeah, he's dreaming. So I was there. It's cute. So okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. So I'm laying there, and he gets me up from the floor. God gets me. He goes, "Okay." He gets me up, and so he showed me these stubs on the floor, tree stubs. Everybody was sitting there talking to their loved ones. I was sitting there. I had nothing. I had nothing to talk to my loved ones about. I had nothing. And he goes, well, he goes, you can't talk to nobody. This guy from the ladder comes down. He goes, he was a maintenance guy. He goes, you can't talk to no one yet. You're not ready yet. I'm sorry. Again, come here. I'm glided out of this bathroom, and I see myself laying there. All of a sudden, there's this Apache helicopter. I seen it. I felt it. I tasted it. It's weird. And it came around the hospital, came around there. And I was so scared. I could see it. Everybody was running. And there was this red button. And it was telling me, press that button. Go ahead. Tell me. Do you want out? Do you had enough? Is this all? Is this all you want? Tell me. So all of a sudden, come here. He tells me, he goes, okay. I'm sitting here, there's this woman, there's this big old computer they're working on, there's another female. There's this big old window, and in this window, there's this black nurse's kid. He's 12, the other one was like 33. They were walking from one end to another. back and forth, back and forth. You can see, you can see like they wanted it to stop. They wanted the pain to stop. It feels like, and he was telling me, he goes, they died there. They died in sin. That's the reason why they're. It's not what I'm here. It's not what here again. Come here. I could feel it. I could sense it. He didn't say it. It was like, come here, a loving come here, like he was there with me. I'm at my house again. I'm at my house. I'm actually there. Okay, hold on, my laptop just messed up again. This happens all the time. Okay, so it's kind of crazy because like, but my last interview I did does that. It messes up my laptop a lot. That's why I had to keep it on charge because the charger goes all the way to, so it's weird every time I tell the story. I'm floating. I'm floating at my mom's house. I'm just like, what's going on? I was like, I'm home. I'm home. Yes, I'm home. The whole house was dark except the kitchen. There's this dark-headed, this brown-headed woman, Hispanic. I know who it is. I'm gliding. It allows me to go down, stand up. I couldn't feel my feet. And she goes, you're not ready to go home yet. Not yet. Not yet. I know who it is. And to me, in my feeling, if she don't repent and love her kids again, it's gonna be her lonely existence there in that kitchen for her. No one's not gonna love her. No one's not gonna listen to her. She's not gonna see anything around her but that kitchen and that darkness around her house. And this gonna be my mom, And I told her plenty of times. She don't listen. She goes, oh, I don't know that woman. We talk sometimes. But okay, I was like, so what's gonna happen now? Like she was just telling me, and I mean, it's pretty neat. I could see like the kitchen and everything, how it's the same and everything. And I'm there, and come here, ice fishing with my fiance's family. I didn't know that at the time. I seen her grandfather that was there that died a long time ago. He was there. He goes, "Isn't life great?" Like, I mean, he just looked at you, just goes up like that. "Isn't life beautiful?" He goes, "I get to ice fish. I mean, I always wanted to ice fish, but I lived in Texas, He goes, but I always wanted that tugboat." And he showed me the image of a tugboat. It's kind of weird. After I survived and everything, me and my fiance finally went out, for a getaway, and she showed me the tugboat that he always wanted in life. And I seen that same tugboat, by the way. And I seen his picture. I was like, God, man, God is good, And I seen the rest of her family members there, her aunts, and they're like, "Isn't life great? I mean, life is good, isn't it? Look at this, I get to fish all I want. God gave me all this." And I told my fiance, he found God before he died. He found God. He did. I mean, in life, yeah, I'm not gonna tell you about that, but yeah, in life he was, yeah. But he found him. And what he was telling me, he goes, that fishing was lovely. I mean, the love that radiated off those people was just like, they were so welcoming, loving, and caring. It's like, it felt like it was God. It was just Jesus. God was just like, showing me that, visions are loving and caring at some point, he took me again. He goes, "Come here. Sometime my sister will get married." Seen her father-in-law, who's a really nice guy. It put me in this film, like, this biology class. They put me in this film so they could look at the viruses and stuff like that on there. He put me on there. It was a nice stadium, he's gonna be this rich guy, whatever, well-off guy that's gonna take care of her and treat her right, and all of a sudden God was like, "Come here." Again, I'm out here. I'm at the hospital, and outside the hospital, this guy's like drinking a coffee or whatever, tea. It's crazy. He's drinking tea. And so when he was drinking this tea, he goes, here, man, like, have this drink. I'm sitting out there. I'm like, what's going on? All you could do is just see what's going on. And there's this person scream out of nowhere, "He can't have that yet. What are you doing? He can't do that yet." And he goes, okay, enough of this. He said, "Okay, I'm not having the drink. I got to tell you something." I said, "Okay, what is it?" He goes, "I know you can't turn your head, but look behind you." I look, my eyes, like different from mine. He goes, there's a lot of people that died at this hospital. You don't want to stay here, okay? And they were, and I could see them. I could see like a lot of people, and there was like windows everywhere. So then, I was, I was there back in my hospital room. They were treating me, my throat and everything. I could see this. I was floating over my body. And, remember, all these visions they're just coming at you back over and over and over and over again. You can see this male nurse come in, and he goes, okay. He goes, man. He goes, life is good. He goes, man, I'm getting married next week, and this is when I was still under and stuff like that. And he goes, man, I know you can't hear, I know you can't, move or talk to me. He goes, but your family right now, He goes, man, I'm getting married next week, and life is good, and I'm just. So then I have another vision. I have a vision on top of a vision that there's this garden outside the hospital. I never been there, and actually, I don't know. I told the nurse when I woke up, and I found out there was really a garden where people can go over there and pray for their families. When their patients are not so good there, in life and when they're dying. So they go over there and pray to God in the garden and stuff like that. And they're like, how do you know that? How did you know that? Come on, He goes from one vision to another. He goes, come here. I'm sitting there, and there's 5 nurses that were assigned to me. 3 Hispanic nurses, one white female nurse. The female nurse was talking to me about she just moved here, and that she didn't like it, but she lived in the forest. That her husband, is a nurse too, and they found a home with their kids and everything. And she goes, I really don't like it here. I don't know why he had me move here. Why did he have me move here? He goes, but I'm here. I'm here taking care of you. So she leaves, and these other nurses at night, they're coming over here at night. That was in daytime. And they're like, man, my husband forgot to bring me my Whataburger food. It's a restaurant over here. It's a burger place. And they're like, I bet you want a Whataburger, don't you? They looked at me. But I was on a ventilator. They were just talking to me like I was their family. And I was just like, I want Whataburger. I want that. And then they had a code 4, a code 3. All I know is they chained up my door. I can actually see on the other side of the door. They chained it up. They were wrestling the guy on the ground. They took me out of that room. They were cleaning. All the electronics went off weird. They didn't want to go in there. Long story short. So I mean, it was all like like going back to my room. It was a garage. It turned into a garage. In this garage, I'm laying there. I felt this big old Labrador dog breathing on my leg. And so I get up from my body. The nurse goes, come here. Get him, nurse. He's checking my throat and everything else. And from this nurse turns into a female, but whatever. So I'm looking at the hallway. There's these nurses. They're on their break. I can smell the food they're eating and everything. And they all look at me. All of them. They all look at me one time with like red eyes. All of a sudden, this evil thing goes on this TV because TV's on. They're like, look at this guy. You think he's gonna live? Come on, he ain't gonna live. I mean, you can see sofas. You can see like washer and dryers, the old washer and dryers there, and everything. It's crazy. I know I'm kind of sounding out of everywhere. It's just what I seen on this experience. Everybody's just like, wow. Like, I mean, what? Like, you're seeing all this because, I mean, visions are just weird whenever you're on their side. Especially if you're in purgatory. I mean, a lot of people they see a lot more things. So I'm there. I'm just sitting there. Well, actually, I'm just gliding there. And it takes me on the floor again. It slams me on the ground. There's this Oriental nurse that comes over. She goes on top of me. She's tearing out my throat. Actually, I could feel it. Sit still. This needs to be done. And I'm scared. I see my other's daughters. They're on their laptops, just looking at their laptops. They have a divider over them. And I see in my hospital room, I see, like the board that have my name on there, what kind of medicines I'm on, and I need to be turned over, like 4 times a day or whatever. Um, let's see. And so I'm there, and I'm just like, oh man. All of a sudden, I'm transformed. It takes me to this farm. I'm just like, where am I at? I'm laying there, and it's showing me all the junk food that I need to stop eating or whatever. It's kind of crazy, man. Like, I mean, I'll tell you later about it, but all the junk food, like, I need to stop. So I'm there, and it feels like I'm in Canada, but I'm not. That's what it feels like. And I'm watching this TV. It was sort of like the some scary movie or whatever, and it was saying that I'm in a haunted hotel or a haunted farm or whatever, and I'm just like, I do not want to watch this stuff knowing I'm in, I'm on the other side, like I want to watch something positive. Then this guy walks in, he goes, what is he doing here? He's supposed to be in a hospital. These two nurses are just like, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. We'll fix it. Oh my God, don't have a panic attack. Oh my God. They're like, the guy was all like, do not use God's name in vain. This guy's almost dying here. Come on. So then the scenario changes. It changes where I'm in this room, and there's this heavyset nurse, Hispanic. She goes, this is other nurse in another room, had like a lot of food in there and everything. They were getting everything unpacked. And this nurse goes, hey, I didn't see you there. He goes, oh, hold on, I gotta tell you something. It's talking about my throat, I guess my trait or whatever. And they're like, we're gonna build you a new throat. Like, with this new throat, she showed me like translucent. She goes, here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. This is what happened to it. It got damaged, when you're being sick with COVID and stuff like that. I was like, okay. She's trying to give me a popsicle. I was like, look, I can't have it. They're like, okay, I guess. So all of a sudden, I'm thrown onto this metal bed, and all these nurses come at me. Oh my God, my back was hurting when that happened. I was just so much pain. They're like, it's okay, we're gonna change you. We're gonna flip you over. And all of a sudden, my mom busts down the door. She's like, what is he doing here? You cannot move him without my permission. And I couldn't breathe. And I was like, it's okay. We're gonna we're gonna fix this and everything else. And my sister's always a protector. She's always protecting her brothers. She goes talk to the nurse and everything. What's going on? So there's these other nurses. It's kind of weird. There's these other workers that were working at the hospital. They come and help at their farm whenever they feel like it. But when you look at outside, you can feel them. You can see them plowing, like the wheat and everything. So that's what they do in real life. That's what I was told. That but in reality, it really happened. So it's crazy.
Did you see religion before your experience, and what did, if anything, what did it clarify for you after having had this experience and waking up?
When I was a kid, like I was a child, my dad was an evangelist. He used to travel, church. My mom and my dad has passed 8 months ago. I think, we don't know. I mean, that's a problem. My family don't communicate. I used to go clean churches with him. I used to go. He used to involve all our brothers and sisters, into the church and stuff like that. And it's not like I didn't stop believing in him. It's when my dad and my mom split up, because my mom would tell me lies about him, and he would tell me lies about her and everything. And I went on my way. I go to church still, but with the COVID going on, I stopped going to church. I do an online church thing they have now these days. I don't know. It really changed me. It really changed me big time. After everything that I experienced, I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared to do certain things. Like, what am I doing wrong? Or if I do this wrong, am I going to be judged for it? Certain things like that. I don't know if I answered your question, but yeah.
No, you sure did. Because I think, if I can summarize correctly, it made you more aware of maybe the consequences of your actions, and it maybe made you a bit more mindful of what you actually want to be doing.
Yeah, it is honestly like I was telling you, I had a channel. I don't know if I want to do that anymore, because the last person that I was interviewing, I was telling them, I said, I was like, I just want to know how it feels to die. And that was the one thing that I didn't want to, I didn't think that I would die of a flu I almost died of one. But I'll go back to my visions. Actually, I'm getting help, like writing a book and stuff like this. So I'm not gonna say a lot more into it. So there's more details into what's happening. So then I escape. I'm in this post office. It feels like a church or a post office. There's this elevator. It's broken down. I'm on the floor. My mom and my sister get caught out. They're doing something that they're not supposed to be doing. There's this post office owner. He comes out. He goes out the door. He goes, oh. He goes like with his arms, hands. He goes, I'm not gonna get in trouble for this. You hear me? He leaves. My mom goes, oh my God, Eli's here. Oh, he's here. They start throwing masks on me and everything, try to hide the truth, what they're up to. So but before this, vision of them showing me, they got me new clothes and everything, and then, they got me new clothes. God showed me that I was gonna move out into an apartment and everything. So, I felt that. I felt that when I was moving out, my room was gonna be purple. It was gonna be purple. I didn't know if my nieces were gonna move in there or not, but it was a purple room, and it really was. When I actually moved out, I actually went to go visit one time. So God was showing me all that. So all of a sudden, I'm back on the floor. I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I'm done. I told God, I can't. What's going on? I can't do this no more. I can't do this. I feel His presence behind me, and when He's behind me, it felt like He was going up to my back. I see His sandal in His foot. I see His sandal. Not one of those new sandals people wear, It's one of those up to His, like up to their leg, with sandals. These expensive things that kids use, wear. So I was there, I was laying there, and the feeling of love, God, man, and it was like a beat to the music. It was like a native beat, and it was sort of like, not trumpets, but they were like long horns, like what they play into, boom. But it was really beautiful. It was telling me, he goes, get up. And another one, he shows a cloud of my mom, and she's walking away from me. Name that, because I told my mom about this. My mom was like, wow, no one's ever told me that name since I was a kid. How did you even know my nickname? And he was like, telling her name, he goes, stop walking away from him. Stop walking away from him. And she was just walking and walking. There was another cloud, a person in a wheelchair that needs her help. Probably my dad. It was I didn't know this until now. He needs to talk to him. Y'all need to work this out. Never happened. Never did. He's deaf because he had a stroke. He ended up in a nursing home. His family got him out in reality. And they just used him to talk to him just for information. That's how my mom was. In life, God told me, stay away, but love them from a distance. He goes, if she can get away with murder, she would. She goes, that's how bad she is. She's lost. She goes, you need to be careful with her. She will ruin everything. And I'll explain to you what happened at the end. So then he took me back. I'm laying there. I'm just exposed to him. I'm new. I'm actually new. I'm exposed. I said, I'm done, God. Please take me home. He goes, get up. Get up. Well, with authority, like the love of this guy is just like so lovable. It's like, whoa, you just want to hug him, but like all of a sudden he's pushing away from me. And he goes, family, saying my new family needs to come first. Family. All of a sudden, I wake up. They were like, "Okay, car, get the crash card now. Take it. He's breathing again." They're taking everything out. I'm just like breathing. I'm crying. I'm crying. They're just The nurses was just like, the doctor was just like, no, how? 5% of life. They took me off 5%. They're like, how? They were just, they didn't know what was happening. They were just stunned. They're like, how? They're like, do you know who the president is? I was like, they're like, because they gave me a tray to talk through because I couldn't talk because I have a tray that they it's just to feed me through and everything, took everything out. And I was like, please don't ask me who the president is. Come on. I told him that. I sounded like a robot when I talked, I looked at my mom and it was just like, I did not want to see her. Like, I was just like, I remember recovering. I couldn't even lift my head. I couldn't breathe. It felt like there was a person behind me. I was still under some medication that they gave me. So I was just kind of like, still like singing things, but I wasn't. I was kind of like still zooming in and out, and I remember that word, but I can't remember anyway. So it was just, I was still kind of like not there, but I was there. I remember waking up. I remember like, where am I at? They were telling me what happened. They were telling me I came out with COVID. I had double pneumonia. I had a 5% chance of life, and that I was back. I was tied down. They're like, don't worry, you're okay. You can move your legs. They asked me if I could move my legs. I could move my legs, but my right leg was weak. I could not get up at all. Couldn't walk on my own. My right arm, I could not even lift it. My head was just like, I couldn't even lift it either. I mean, I was crying. Like, I was like, why me? Why me? Like, why? I mean, all I could do is cry. And guess what they had on TV? They had like they had some scary stuff on TV, like the Skin Rancher or whatever scary show. And I was like, I had that little thing. I was like, can I watch something, cartoons or whatever? I was like, I do not wanna, yeah, see all that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm laying there and, you know how you can feel the electricity go out in the building? Like, and I'm laying there by myself and you could feel it. I mean, I'm awake. I'm there, and I feel the electricity go out. I mean, everything was like, okay, what's going on? There's no nurses walking or anything. I felt alone. And there's this little girl that says, I'm here. I'm just like, what? Like, I was just like, what? And then I felt something sliver on the floor is telling me to look at him. I was just like, okay, I'm under some kind of drug or something. Like, I'm still hallucinating or whatever. I was like, but that kind of went away a little bit. I was just like, okay, there was this one vision that I want to mention real quick. I kind of missed, and man, that sucks. Like, I can't believe my friend's gone. His name was Johnson. I used to work with him security. In one of my visions, I was snowed in, and I just have a feeling I got to tell you this. I don't know why. I just had a feeling. It's something I got to tell you about this. And I was snowed in. I was looking for my daughter. She was just everywhere, and there was this big old pulpit like that going up, and I could see him there. I was like, why is he there? Everybody welcoming me back, and everything. So then all of a sudden, I found out later in life, like a year ago, that he had passed a month before I got sick. He had died. And I didn't know that till this day. So, it was a miracle. I just wanted to mention that. I had to tell you that. Something was just telling me to tell you that. I don't know why. Some of those visions did come true. My brother's going through something right now, so I went through what he went through right now, what he's going through. Even my other friend that was in hospital he was a trucker. He went through some stuff he told me I could tell you, but he went through some stuff where he was alcoholic, he got abused, he was abusive to his family and everything, so, yeah. And he lost his kid, he lost it, and, yeah. And so he's okay now. We stopped talking because of what I witnessed and everything. And yeah, it's something like I never want to experience it ever again. Like today, well, actually, I'll tell you about my recovery. Tell me. Well, the message is like, be right by God, and always, always be truthful to yourself and love other people. Recovery is good. I'm walking with one cane now. I used to walk with a walker, I'm still in pain, but still, that's just always been hurting, But God is good, and He'll get me through my dark hours, Recently, like, there's certain things that really get to me. If like a fiance is driving and I'm sitting next to her, and there's this van, like it brings me back to another vision, another time. But yes, certain things like fear and everything. I don't. If someone wants to scare me, like one of my kids comes in and want to scare me and stuff like that, I don't get scared easily, because I've been through the worst. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. So appreciate it. You remember I was telling you how those two people were in a loop. I feel like I was in a loop, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it just happens. You know,
But
I appreciate it.
Elias,
I just had a feeling like because after I came back, I could feel people. I could feel people. Like I mean, I could feel like, like okay, well, I know she has other interviews to do. So man, I just knew it. I came back with the knowing. Like I knew my daughter was gonna walk in because I was expecting a package, and I knew it. I just had that feeling of someone's gonna walk in through the door any moment. So it's crazy. I mean, everybody comes back with a gift, but I
Elias,
appreciate
tell
it.
me,
Okay, go
tell
ahead.
me, how can people, if people want to reach out, if they want to connect with you, how can they find you?
Sure. At is Eli Family. What's Eli Family? It's a little slash at the middle. Family at 1983. I'm on YouTube. My Twitter is eFamily 1983. You can ask me any questions you want. Appreciate it.